Hello and good afternoon from just outside of Bristol in South Gloucestershire in the UK. It is a grey and rainy Saturday afternoon in November, and I am currently sitting in one of my favourite spots, which is close at hand to me, to be in nature. I'm sitting held by an old apple tree, which I've known for about 7 years now, and a friend of mine, a tree surgeon, did some very severe restorative work and trimmed all the stems back. There were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stems, I think. Trimmed them right back, so there was no growth left whatsoever. And over the next 4 years, I think now, I have trained the growth that sprang out, and so I've got a very close connection to this tree. And like I say, it's one of my favourite places. I can come and sit in a kind of almost a wooden armchair of its own creation, and it's one of the ways and places that I come and sink into a softer space, a broader, more creative place to think from. Now, we invite you throughout this 5-day exploration of connection to yourself and your inner and outer nature to find a focal point of nature to help you on your journey and explorations. And so this is one of the places that I use. Now, it's interesting for me because I don't know if you can hear the traffic noise, but I'm about 100 yards, 200 yards away from an A road, a mainish road with a 40-mile-an-hour limit. So I can hear the traffic behind me. And when I first started using this space, I really wrestled with that noise in the background. But of course, there are fewer and fewer places, certainly in Western societies or developed countries, where we can be truly immersed deeply in nature, as we refer to it, without the sounds of man-made interference around us. However, that is also natural. Another favourite place of mine is a round walk that takes me down to a patch of forgotten woodland, and that's nestled in the corner of 2 motorways, and right next door to it is an emergency response helicopter station. So hardly the most serene of places. However, that juxtaposition, the balance between the nature that grows and takes its own nutrients, etc., and the nature that we have engineered, even the metal beast fueled by petrochemicals that flies through the air, that is from nature and of nature. So you can connect to nature wherever you are. I appreciate that I am really fortunate to have an apple tree such as this one within reach for me to come and recline in. So if you don't have one of those, or if on a day like today you don't want to get your bum wet by sitting in it, how can you connect to nature? So I have brought a few props with me, and let's go and see what you could use. So, staying with, I suppose, real nature in a way, things that grow or have grown or have been formed by natural processes. If you can't get out and about for whatever reason, you don't have a garden space, or you don't have trees to access, or fields, forests or beaches or whatever, then of course you can, and many people do, have houseplants. A favourite one of mine that I use for reflection is this silver squill, and this one to me has significance, and there's a story there as well, because I've had this plant for over 10 years. I took one of these little guys here, which are all separate tubery things, from a plant laboratory where I was studying landscape design many years ago. It's a silver squill, and its Latin name is Ledeboria socialis, and so called because of the way that it grows. So for me, it's got a sentimental attachment, but it's also got prompts to deepen my thoughts around the aspect of sociability and relationship and all this kind of stuff. So that's one way you can connect with nature. You can see here, this is this beautiful thing was made for me and given to me as a gift by a man who I can put you in contact with if you would like him to make one for you. And hand carved. It's of nature. It's oak. It's got the rune for oak there, and it spirals inside. So again, for me, it's got a lot of sentimentality. It was a gift from a friend of mine. The carving of it, the spirals, it's all inspirational stuff that I can use to connect with nature. Now you can see above me here, trying to get away. If you don't have plant pots, house plants, you can, of course, get pictures of nature. And again, this one, there's plenty to dive into and explore, and to relax upon, to meditate upon. The important thing is, for me, is softening and sinking away from the man-madeness, away from the busyness in our brains. And certainly, obviously, when we're in nature like this, or like I am outside, particularly if you're surrounded by trees, there is proper clinical biophysical things that are happening. Chemical compounds from the plants and trees are actively reducing stress levels and reducing cortisol levels, which allows us to think more creatively and openly, coming from a place of curiosity rather than fear, which is what the cortisol will do to your thought processes. So we have a range of things that you can use. If you're fortunate to have a view from your window, you can use that. If you can see nature, then you can use that. So long as you can come back to that place or that thing regularly, hopefully daily, throughout the 5 days, and use it as a starting place or a route marker for your thoughts and explorations as you do so, then you can successfully dive into nature connection. So I hope that's helpful. I'm realizing that I'm 2.5 minutes over the limit. I will work on my timekeeping, but until I next see you, have fun finding your focal point and getting to know it. Thanks very much. See you soon. Bye.